Hello, everyone. Hope everybody's doing good. Happy New Year. Hope things are going well. I wanted to circle back and to get this 2013 Volkswagen Passat written for you guys. I promised you I would, and you can take this with you. I hope when it comes time for you to take the exam, you can use this as a refresher to help you figure out where to put the pieces of the puzzle. All right. So I got kind of a new setup going on. It's kind of a picture and picture and picture. I hope this helps maybe make it a little bit easier. We'll see. But let's get into it. So this is that 2013 Volkswagen Passat that I assigned for homework for you guys, and I did promise you that I would shoot a video and I would get it done for you. So here I am. It looks like July. I wish January 6th, 2021. So we're into the new year, and it's going to be a good year. It can't get any worse. Well, maybe it could, but anyways. All right, so 2013 Volkswagen Passat. So I got it pulled up here. Just going to kind of go through and start to collect my thoughts, kind of like we've been doing. So car was hit on the right side rear, right? Kind of a side swipe type loss. You can see obviously damage in through the dog leg, right? A little bit into the door, into the rear bumper. We're going to ignore the wheel. Like we talked about with wheel damage, anytime you see circular type motion, chances are the owner just dragged the wheel along the curb while he was trying to park it, especially on the right side of the vehicle. Typically that's the curb side. So what I'm seeing here looks like some unrelated damage, curb damage to the wheel. So I don't think that's part of the loss. Now, if you see horizontal damage like a side swipe in line with the side swipe, then it's reasonable to believe that it's part of the accident. In this situation, clearly, in my opinion, it's curb damage, so unrelated. What we're looking at here is this side swipe type damage around the dog leg, into the rear bumper, and into the rear door. A little bit of scuff on the door handle, right? And then you can see the damage into the door, right? So obviously, put an impression on the door skin, and look, this is the door shell right here. So it left a little bit of damage to this door shell. Now this is a Volkswagen. Volkswagens are typically, you can't buy the skin, it's not separate. So what we're gonna be repairing essentially is the door shell, right? I think that's a repair. So let's see as we go through. Yep, some damage up and through here, like we talked about. We're looking at this from photos, but the same rule applies when you're looking at a car live and in person. You definitely want to try to get some good angles on it. So that means bending down on one knee, trying to catch the light correctly, looking at the reflection in the sheet metal. When you do that, you can see the distortion. So looking at this reflection, you can see what looks like a gentleman here. It's not me. Looks like that person has more hair than I do, so I know that's not me. But I can see the reflection here, and you can obviously see a clear distortion in the sheet metal, right? So that'll give you an idea to the extent of the dent in the panel. All right. So again, it kind of spills down into the rear bumper. So I know we're going to repair the rear bumper. I feel like this is a repair. So repair the rear bumper, repair the quarter. Comes in through the dog leg here, a little bit into the door. Seeing some more distortion in that sheet metal up and through here. Even more so here, right? So I'm comfortable with saying that. Again, all in through here. So you know what? This is a good photo. I'm seeing damage here. Good crease there, good crease there. You know what? So let's try to mark this up a little bit. I'm going to do my field notes over here on the screen, but just to try to collect my thoughts before I actually take my field notes. And like we talked about, this blank page represents basically our clipboard with a blank piece of paper on it, and we're going to take field notes as if we were looking at the car. Let me just increase this for a minute. Let's see, can I increase this and decrease this? Good. All right, so it seems like everything's working, so that's good. All right, so let me just get my little marker out here and see what we got going on. So there's some damage here, right? Nice dent in there. Continues all the way through here, right? All the way through in here. Damage down into the rear bumper, into the dog leg, right? And then into the door too. All right, so I'm looking at repair time on the right side rear door, a little bit on the door handle. We saw that. Repair time on the quarter panel and the rocker panel. There's no break points, so we know that we're going to carry the clear coat through the rocker panel. Coming up through here, and a little bit of repair time on the rear bumper. So repair the rear door, repair the quarter panel, repair the rear bumper. Wheel is unrelated damage, right? Repair the door handle. We're going to just clean that scuff right there. So let me think. The next thing to do, let me clear this. I guess is to talk about our R&Is, right? So I'm going to work from the rear door towards the back. So we're going to put a little repair time on this, but we do need to address our R&Is, right? So R&I, or replace, depending on if it's adhesive. I believe this molding is adhesive. The crash book will tell us, so we'll see what the crash book says. I'm going to start with an R&I. If the book tells us it's adhesive, then we're going to lean towards a replacement, right? So we got the molding, obviously the door handle, belt molding, interior trim panel, right? We're going to R&I that interior trim panel. Over here, we're going to R&I our gas door. If there's a wheel liner in here, we're going to R&I that. Let's try to get some better photos. Here's a better photos with regard to our R&Is. All right, so same thing on the bumper. We're going to repair this. So we're going to overhaul the bumper like we talked about. So when we overhaul a bumper, we take everything apart, completely detrim it, strip it down. And that's what we're going to do here. So instead of R&Ing all these moldings, we're just going to do a simple OH, overhaul, because we know the rule. Anytime we're repairing or replacing a bumper, we're going to overhaul it, right? So overhaul the bumper, and that includes all the R&Is, everything that's attached to that bumper, unless specifically excluded within the crash book. The crash book will tell us. But I think that's it. So I got my R&Is for this. For door handle, molding, interior belt trim, we're going to R&I this. If there's a wheel liner in here, we're going to R&I that. And we're going to carry the clear coat up and over the roof rail and then down through the rocker. Right? All right, sounds good. Let's start taking my field notes. I'm actually going to leave this up so that I can see it. So we all know what we do. The first thing we do when we walk up to a car, we walk around the car. We get our VIN number. We get the mileage if we can, because we know that if the vehicle has less than 20,000 miles, we're writing for all OEM. For the purpose of you taking the test, the second part of the exam, if you need to replace any parts, you're going to write all OEM anyways. But the law is, in the real world, that anytime a vehicle has less than 20,000 miles, OEM. And I actually forgot to write to R&I that tail light, so I got that. So let's just go for it. See how this setup works. All right, so now I'm taking my field notes. This white screen here represents our clipboard, right? So our clipboard with a white piece of paper, we show up to the customer's house, we go up to their car, we have a clipboard with a blank piece of paper, we're gonna start taking field notes, right? While we're there looking at the car, we're making notes with regard to how we're writing an estimate with regard to how it's gonna be repaired. So I'm gonna start from the front, right rear door, work my way towards the back. All right, so right rear door, RPR right rear door. Four hours, right? So repair right rear door for 4 hours, okay? While I'm there, I can work on doing my R&Is, right? So I'm looking at the door, I'm gonna do my R&Is, right? So I'm gonna write R&I, body side molding, chrome. Right? Maybe you replace, right? Maybe I'll just make a note here to remind myself. And again, it's the better field notes you take, the easier your life is going to be when it comes time to actually writing the estimate, right? Because you're going to look at this car, naturally you're going to take photos of it. For the test, you can't take pictures. So you got to take good field notes, because when you're done, you're going to sit in an auditorium with the crash book and your field notes, and then you've got to start taking the information from your field notes and putting it into the estimate, okay? So that's why it's important that you take good field notes. Your life will be much easier. Now, of course, things have changed a little bit because of COVID, right? And what I'm hearing, and I think I may have shared this with you during the class, is that when you go to take the second part of the exam, the estimating part, you're actually, you stay inside your car and they give you pictures of the car with copies of the crash book, right? So in that situation, obviously it's a little bit different. You're going to be doing it the exact same way we're doing it here. You're going to be looking at photos of a car and basically writing your estimate on there. So, you know, you can kind of go back and reference it, you know what I mean? But it's important still. Good practice is to take good field notes. I promise you, because when you become licensed appraisers and you're in the real world and you're out there writing estimates, I can't promise you, especially if you're an independent appraiser, or even if you're a body shop appraiser, insurance appraiser, whatever it is, you're going to fly through your estimate writing a lot quicker if you take better field notes. All right. All right. So R&I rear body side molding, chrome, replace, might be adhesive. R&I door handle. Right? You know what? RPR door handle. And I'm just going to write clean scuff. So I got right here, RPR door handle, clean scuff. One of those photos that we were looking at showed just a little scuff to the door handle with a little bit of compound. We can just probably rub that out. So we're not going to get into repairing and refinishing, etc. Now, I didn't note anything about refinishing the right side rear door. Obviously, when I've got 4 hours worth of body work on there, we're going to refinish it, right? So I don't need to actually make note that we're going to refinish it. The refinishing, let's say, goes without saying. Okay. Repair door handle, clean scuff, R&I belt molding, R&I trim panel. All right, so we got that there. So now we're pretty much done with the right side rear door. We're going to move into the quarter panel. All right, so looking at that quarter panel, I noticed some damage around the dog leg, kind of up above the wheelhouse, forward of the wheelhouse. There was a little crease there. After the, or behind the wheelhouse, there was a little crease there. So there's a decent amount of body work that's going to go into straightening that. Start to finish. So I'm going to go with 8 hours on that quarter panel. Okay. So I'm just going repair quarter panel. Repair right quarter panel, 8. Again, the refinishing goes without saying. Obviously, if we're putting a day's worth of body work into a panel, we're going to refinish it. Next is, first thing I'm looking at is that gas door. Okay, so with regard to that gas door, we're going to RNI it and we're going to refinish it. There's no real blending that gas door. I mean, we're going to be putting so much color up around that wheelhouse and that dog leg that the painter's not just going to blend that gas door. He's just going to refinish it in its entirety. So I'll write to RNI gas door and refinish gas door. All right, so I've got that. Next thing that's coming to my mind while I'm looking at this car is I see the quarter glass. Again, that's an adhesive glass. That glass is glued into the car. We're not going to R&I any adhesive glass for the purposes of the test, okay? Once you get into the real world, you're a body shop appraiser, you may look at that and decide, you know what, I want to R&I the quarter glasses. Fine, if that's what you want to do. For the purposes of taking the exam, passing it, and keeping it as simple as possible, we're just going to mask the quarter glass. So I'll write to mask the quarter glass. All right, so mask quarter glass. Next thing I'm looking at is we're going to carry the clear up and over the roof rail, down through the window pillar, and we're going to carry the clear through the rocker panel, right? Because there's no break points. So anytime there are no break points, we want to make sure that we carry that clear coat all the way through to the nearest edge, okay? So clear over right roof rail. Through rocker. Okay, so I got clear over right roof rail, clear through rocker. Actually got stumped on that word through, and it's just an abbreviation. I still didn't even spell it correctly, but so clear over right roof rail, clear through rocker panel. All right, so I got that. Keep moving back towards the vehicle, towards the back of the vehicle. I mentioned that I wanted to R&I that wheel liner, if there is one. I'm not looking at the photo, I don't know for sure. If we were there looking at the vehicle live in the flesh, you know, naturally I'd be able to get on one knee and kind of look under there to see if there's a wheel liner. I can't tell. So you know what, I'm just gonna leave it off because looking at the photos, I can't really tell. So I'm gonna leave that off, but keep working my way back towards the back of the vehicle, the tail light, right? R&I the tail light. All right, R&I the tail light. Then I'm gonna write to mask the back glass and mask the windshield. So I'll just write mask back glass and windshield. All right, so mask back glass, mask windshield. All right, so I got that. Looking at the car, the next thing I'm into is the rear bumper. And the rule with the rear bumper is any bumper, anytime we repair or replace it, we're overhauling it. So overhaul the rear bumper, repair it for 2 hours. Okay, so I hope you guys got that. I've got overhaul rear bumper, repair rear bumper for 2 hours. And at that point, I'm feeling pretty good. I feel like I've captured everything. You know, as we work our way through the book may start to lead us in certain directions, and we'll just follow along with whatever the book is saying. Again, you know, when we first walk up to the vehicle, we're going to walk around the vehicle, get the VIN number, right? Get the mileage if we can. Walk over to the point of impact, step back, look for secondary damages. Once we're comfortable with that, we can actually start to get closer to the point of impact and start to account for everything like we've done here. One of the other important things to note is we need to note unrelated damage. We talked about the wheel as being curb damage, but it's absolutely part of the test. So at this point, I'm just going to make a note, curb damage on wheel, UPD, unrelated previous damage. Okay, good. So I feel like I've got all of my field notes here. So the next thing we're going to do is basically take all of these notes here and get the information out of the crash book and actually start to put it into an estimate. All right. So let me turn the page and I'll create a little bit of a graph. So year, make, and model, body, paint, and parts. All right. And again, we've got, let's jump into the crash book. So I'm just gonna come back to my screen here. All right, so here we go. Now we're on the crash book, 2013 Volkswagen Passat. All right. Front door, kind of not gonna get into that, right? That damage was far enough back into this rear door here, right? The damage was there. We can blend within the panel. So we don't have to get into that rear door, right? And again, the way that you go through the crash book so that you don't miss anything is just start with one section, right? Here's your section, front door, subsection, sheet metal, okay? We can skip through the front door. We're not gonna do anything with it. Nothing with the door mirrors, nothing with anything. So I'm just gonna scroll through until I get to the next section, which should be the rear door. Right? And follow along through the crash book. That's the easiest way to keep things organized. And that's definitely what they're looking for when you take the exam. They're looking for the fact that you understand the repair process. And one of those ways is by keeping things organized. So follow through the crash book. Section by subsection, section by subsection. Right? All right, we're still in the front door section. Trying to find the rear door. I don't think I passed it. Maybe I did. Rear door. All right, good. So here's the rear door section. Let me just get my highlighter going. So in the rear door section, what are we going to do with the rear door? So we're going to repair it, right? And going by my field notes, I think I want to repair it for 4 hours. Again, with these Volkswagens, a lot of vehicles you can buy a skin and a shell. Volkswagens are sold as a shell. They're not two separate parts, okay? So we're gonna write to repair the door, right rear door shell for 4 hours. And with that, we need the refinish time. The door is gonna stay on the car. We don't need to worry about ironing it, right? So again, we know where to find our refinish times. It's always above the drawing, right? So I'm at the rear door. Sheet metal subsection is my door. Refinish times are always above the drawing. So refinish door shell outside, 2 hours, okay? I got a new marker here, so let's see if it's a little brighter. Adjust my camera a little bit. That looks a little better. Okay, so looking at my field notes, came to the right side. Looking at my field notes, I came to the right side rear door first, right? Repair right side rear door for 4 hours. So that's the first thing I'm gonna write, basically in my estimate. So RPR, right side rear door, 4 hours. All right, so right side rear door, 4 hours. See if I can make this a little bigger. Yeah, that's good. Ooh. That's even better. All right, so right side rear door, 4 hours. The next thing we need to do is refinish it, right? The published time in the book is 2 hours. So refinish, paint, 2 hours. This is our first major panel that we're working on. So we know the rule about the first major panel. There is no deductions for overlap, okay? But we do have to add for clear coat. And with our first major panel, if you guys remember, it's 40% of the published time, right? So add for clear coat. All right, so, sorry guys. There it is. Hey, what happened? You know, something might have happened when I was moving this. Looks like my camera froze. So let me see how I can fix this. Okay, I'm back. So I had some technical difficulties with my camera, but I think I figured it out. So what we did here was right side rear door, 4 hours, refinish for 2, add for clear coat. I showed my work, which is good. 40% of 2 gives me 0.8. Okay. 40% of 2 gives me 0.8. We make that point a little bit bigger. So at this point, I'm done with the repair of my door. I got to go through some of the R&Is, right? So I'm going to go back to the crash book, and I'm just going to follow through and see what comes up next, right? All right, so here I am at the crash book, going to the next subsection, okay, which is exterior trim. So I got right side front door frame molding, R&I rear door frame molding, R&I outer belt molding. So let's just see what's going on. So they must be talking about this. This must be our frame moldings. We don't need to R&I any of that. It's not affecting the repair of this, right? Because this belt molding is extending from one end of the door to the other, those moldings, those vertical moldings can stay on the car, okay? But we do want to R&I that belt molding, and I did see it here. So I got R&I outer belt molding right here. And they're paying me 0.3, but we're gonna take it. So let me get back to my camera, and I'll just do R&I belt molding. R&I, right? R&I right belt molding, 0.3. All right, so I got that. All right, back to the crash book. Let's see what comes up next. There's my body side molding. Body side molding, adhesive. Now remember, I do want to, if it's adhesive, I definitely want to replace it, right? So it looks like they're going to pay me, I'm on the right side, they're going to pay me 0.2 to replace it, basically take it off the car, put the new one on. We have to detrim the panel if we're going to refinish it, so it's an absolute. And anytime you see something that's adhesive, lean towards a replacement, okay? $123.33. All right, so let's just let's put it on the board. What did I say they were going to pay us? Here, I'm just going to click off of the camera for a second. 0.2, $123.33. 0.2, 130. Is that right? $123.33. $123.33. $123.33. All right, so I got that. You know what? Let's look at our field notes just so that we can stay on track. So I got my repair on the door. I got my repair on the door. I got my body side molding. We R&I'd the belt molding, so let's cross that off. Next things I'm looking for on the rear door is, looks like I'm looking for the door handle and the trim panel, and we're going to actually clean the scuff on the door handle too. So those are the next things I'm looking for as I'm scrolling through the crash book. Interior trim, R&I trim panel. Next thing I came to, so I'm going to take it. R&I the trim panel, 0.6. Got it. All right, so I got it. Let's see what comes next. Hardware, so that should be my handle. Yeah, R&I outside handle. There it is, number 8, outside handle. R&I outside handle, 0.3, okay? That's what they're giving us. And remember, I wanted to clean that scuff. R&I outside handle, 0.3. All right, let's do it. RPR. I got R&I, the right side handle. The book told us it was 0.3. I got RPR, the right handle, clean scuff. We're going to take a little bit of compound and just rub it out. I've got 0.3 there, right? This was from the book. This 0.3, the book told me that's how long it's going to take to R&I the panel. This 0.3 to clean the scuff, that's just my discretion, right? So it could have been 0.5. Obviously, it's not going to take an hour to rub out that little scuff on the door handle. But again, anytime there's a repair going on, whether it's 4 hours on the rear door, 0.3 on the handle, that's appraiser's discretion. This 2 hours to paint it, all these R&I times, those are published times in the book. Those are the times we use. Let's see if I can find that door handle just to look at it again. There it is. See, that is so small. 2 seconds. It'd probably take more time to actually get the compound, put it on the rag, than it would be to actually rub it out. So that's why I have 0.3 here. So let's go back to our screen and let's see what's next on the. So I got R&I door handle, check. Repair rear door handle, check. Okay. All right. Next thing we come to on our field notes is repair of the quarter panel. But let's jump back to the crash book and see what happens next. Okay. All right. So I'm at the crash book. We'll see what section is next in my crash book. And that's the next thing that's going to go on our estimate. That was the door glass for the rear door. Not going to get involved with that. Side body. I think that's quarter panel. So let's just see. I'm trying to find a photo. Okay. So they're including within the side body the roof rails and the rocker panels. So it does have that fender liner or that quarter liner, wheel opening liner, splash shield, whatever you want to call it. And it's got my quarter panel here too. So we go above the drawing and let's just see if they put my quarter panel here. So they got refinished side body panel assembly. That's not what we want. That's to refinish this whole uniside, right? So this is a uniside. That refinish time that's above the drawing is to refinish that whole side. We're after this, and then we're going to carry clear coat through here, and we're going to break that down, okay? Refinish side body panel assembly, no. That's for the whole uniside. Refinish roof rail outside, yes. That is something we need to address. Refinish fuel filler door, yes, something we need to look at. Look, hashtag. Included in refinish right side body panel or quarter panel outside. All right. Hashtag. Includes refinish outside area of window, pillar, and roof rail. All right, good. What I'm looking for is the refinish time for the quarter panel. Okay. Section hinge pillar. No. Oh, not what I want. Where is refinish? Oh, there it is. Refinish quarter panel outside. That's what I wanted. Okay. All right, very good. All right, so let's just reading through that. So this is what I'm at. This is what I'm after. Refinish quarter panel outside, 2.3 hours. We don't need to edge it. We don't need to add to refinish that pillar. We're just refinish. We're repairing and refinishing that quarter panel. So let's go back to my estimate. Looking at my field notes, I wanted to repair the quarter panel for 8 hours, and then we're going to refinish it. The published time in the book is giving us 2.3 hours, okay? All right, so I got my 8 hours in there to repair my quarter panel. The next thing we got to do is refinish it. Now, this is our second major panel. So with regard to the second major panel, this is when we get into those overlap deductions, right? So we're repairing this car. We repaired this rear door, that's panel 1. Now we're into the quarter panel, second major panel. We subtract 0.4 for our overlap, and our clear coat is 20% times 0.2. Minus 0.4 times 0.2. All right, so let's just look at this crash book again. So 2.3 minus 0.4, all right? 2.3 minus 0.4 gives me 1.9 in the refinish column. So I showed my work here. 2.3 minus 0.4 gives me 1.9 in the paint refinish column. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is my clear coat. Clear coat is at 20%. So I'm going to break out the old calculator for this one. 1.9 times 0.2. We're going to round up. So I got 0.38. That's going to round up to 0.4. All right, here we go. So now you see, add for clear coat, 20% of 1.9, 0.4. So we're good there. So now I think I'm done with my my quarter panel repair for the most part. Let's go. Let's look at our field notes. Repair quarter panel done. So what else did I want to do with regard to my quarter panel? RNI the gas door, and I wanted to refinish the gas door. So let's look to the crash book and see what it says about all that. All right, so here I am in the crash book, right? Refinish fuel filler door, hashtag 0.5. We know when we see the hashtag that there's more information that the book wants us to know. So going to come in here to included in refinish right side body panel or quarter panel. Okay, so now we know. The refinishing of this fuel filler door or the gas door was included in this 2.3 hours. So we don't get anything for it. It's an included operation. But for accuracy, I can put it onto the estimate so that the person grading our test knows that we know how to read these crash books. So I'm going to do that. Refinish gas door, and that is INCL for included. That's the international sign for included, okay? So we got that. So we got refinish of the gas door. So while I'm here, I know I want to refinish the roof rail outside, so I'm going to take that. And that includes basically the roof rail up over into the window pillar. So let's see what we're looking at. So we're going up over because there's no break points. So we got to carry the clear all the way through. It's going into the window pillar. They're giving us 1.6. So if you remember from the class, to keep it simple, we're just going to write to clear coat. It's going to be 50%, same percentage as a blend, 50% of this 1.6, okay? And that's how we're going to calculate that. So 50% of 1.6 is 0.8. So I'm going to get that up onto my estimate here. So, all right, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. I got right roof rail clear over 50% of the 1.6 leaves me with 0.8. All right, you know what? Let's go to our field notes to make sure we're staying organized. We're not forgetting anything. I got my RNI gas door, right? RNI gas door. Cross that up. Oh no, wait, I need that. I got the refinish of the gas door. I got my clear over roof rail. So I need to clear through the rocker panel, and I need to R&I that gas door. All right, good. See, I'm glad I went back to the field notes so that I can stay organized. So let's just try to find that gas door. So I don't, let's see. Again, all of our R&I times are going to be above the drawing. So here's my gas door, number 9. But I don't see R&I gas door anywhere. Right? Because with the R&Is, it's nice. They put it in plain English. They put it in black and white above the drawing. R&I, whatever it is, 0.3, 0.5, however much time it is. Now, if we don't see the R&I time for that specific part that we're looking for, then we simply use the R&R time, remove and replace. And those are the times that are listed here. So I didn't see it, R&I, gas door above the drawing. So I'm going to look for number 9, and I'm going to use the R&R time, 0.3. All right. That's what I'm going to use for R&I. So let me just get that on the board so that I can cross this off and I don't have to worry about it. We fell a little bit out of sequence, but it's acceptable. There it is. All right. Now I can cross it off. So I still want to clear through my rocker panel. I want to mask my quarter glass. The masking of the quarter glass, you are not going to find that in the crash book. That is going to be a P-page operation, right? So, you know, it's a little bit of appraiser's discretion, but 0.5, right? Just to acknowledge it. So I'm just going to throw that in here now. There we go. Got it. So the final thing I want to do here to finish off, looks like my quarter panel section, is to get some clear coat through my rocker panel. So let me see if I can find that here. And I think I did see it. So I seen it here. Where did I see it? Refinish center pillar and rocker panel section, right? So it doesn't put it in, it doesn't use the language I would like, you know, like this one, refinish roof rail outside, but this is what we're after. Refinish rocker panel section, right? 2.2 hours. So they're paying us to basically carry the clear coat through this panel here, right? 2.2. We get 50% of that when we're only doing clear coat. So we're going to put 1.1 to clear through the rocker panel on our estimate. So 2.2, 50% of that is 1.1. Let's just get it on here. There it is. Right rocker panel clear through. I got 1.1 hour. You see that there? 1.1 hour. All right, so I think we're doing pretty good. Let's go back to our field notes again to make sure we don't forget nothing. I got masked quarter glass, so we got that. I got my clear through rocker panel. Next thing I'm seeing on here is R&I the tail light, mask the back glass and windshield. That's a P-page type operation. I got overhaul rear bumper, and I got repair the rear bumper. So let's go back to the crash book and let's see what we get next, okay? So I got exterior trim here, right? R line, SE, R line model. Looks like that would have a rocker panel. Our vehicle doesn't have that, so we can just skip over that, okay? We don't need to R&I any of the interior trim panels for this repair, so just skip through that. All I'm really looking for is a tail light, which is what should come next in this estimate and in this crash book. And after that's the rear bumper, some P pages, and then we are, then we're good. All right, so here's my tail light. Above the drawing, should be right there. Perfect for us. All right, so I'm going to go back to our estimate, and we're going to punch that in there. Okay, so let's jump onto our estimate and get the R&I of that combo lamp in here. R&I right combo lamp, tail light for 0.3. All right, so I got that. While we're here, R&I right tail light. Again, I got mask, back glass, mask, windshield, overhaul rear bumper, repair rear bumper for 2 hours. Then the estimate's done. We'll stop plugging in the P pages, add everything up, and we'll be good. So let's go back to the crash book and see. So again, these mask, back glass, windshield, etc., those are going to be P page. So I can put those into the P pages. They just happened to pop into my mind while I was taking my field notes, while I was looking at the car. So I figured I'd get them onto my field notes so that, you know, I wouldn't forget them. But let's go to the rear bumper section. I believe that that's next, and we're going to overhaul the rear bumper section. So these are just different tail lights. Looking at the car, in some situations, there's no real way to know on whether or not you have an LED tail light or your regular, I guess it's a halogen tail light. Yeah. These are tailgate mounted. We're not doing anything with the tailgate. The damage down here is low enough where we're going to keep the color within this panel. We don't need to get into this tailgate. We don't need to R&I those tail lights. All right, here's our rear bumper, and we're going for the overhaul. Hashtag 3 hours. So let's see what it says. Includes R&I or R&R of combination lamp assemblies. Okay, good. So that combo lamp that we just put up there, we actually have to subtract it from our estimate, but that's fine because it's included with the 3 hours to overhaul the rear bumper. So what the book is telling us is that you can't take the rear bumper off without taking the tail lights out first. So they've went ahead and they've grouped everything together, and that includes the left side tail light too. So, and then the next note is all parts in this section are included in overhaul unless noted otherwise, okay? So let's just scroll through here. Not included rear bumper cover, not included in overhaul. We don't have to worry about that. Impact bar, probably no damage to the impact bar. We don't have to worry about that. All right, cool. That's what we're going to use. Overhaul rear bumper, 3 hours. All right, so let's get on that. See what I did there? So when we read the crash book, it told us to overhaul the rear bumper. They're going to give us 3 hours, right? That includes the R&I, so it includes taking the bumper off of the car, detrimming it, taking it all apart, paying us 3 hours for that, and that includes the R&I of the taillights, both left and right side. So all I simply did was just cross that out, wrote included. Next thing I got to do is repair the rear bumper. Repair rear bumper, 2 hours, right? Again, that's my discretion. I'm looking at the bumper. That's how much time I think it's going to take to fix it. I got to add the paint time. The paint time, we're going to look towards the crash book. 2.6 hours to refinish the rear bumper cover. Remember what I said about bumper covers, right? The other rule about bumpers and refinish times is they're always refinished off the car. They always get 40% clear coat, and they never get a overlap deduction. They never get an overlap deduction, okay? So we're not going to take an overlap deduction here. We're going to get the full 2.6 plus 40% clear coat. $2.6 came up here, 40% of 2.6. Going to break out the calculator for that one. Times 0.4 gives me, we're going to round down, unfortunately. If that was 0.05, we could round up to 1.1, but unfortunately, because that's a 4, you round down. So we got 1 hour even. One hour. All right. Let's look at our field notes to see where we stand. Overhaul rear bumper, repair rear bumper, we're good. So we got this outstanding, that's going to be P pages, and we got this outstanding, right? We're going to put that in the very end. That's going to go in the very end of the estimate. This is going to go into our P pages. So next thing we got to do is go to our P pages. So let me just open that up. All right, so here are our P pages. And again, the way we do our P pages is we just go through them line by line, ask ourselves a yes, no question. Does it apply to our repair? Okay. Car cover, refinish. Does it apply? Yes. So we got that. $5, 0.2 hours. Car cover primer. Did we do any body work in primer? Yes. So we're getting that. 0.2. So let me just get those two onto our estimate so we can stay organized. Okay, so I got car cover paint, car cover primer. I got our 0.2 for our body, and then I got $5 with an X next to it. Remember, the X means we're not going to apply taxes because We only apply taxes to parts and paint materials that leave with the vehicle. The car cover is not going to leave with the vehicle. It's going to get rolled up in a ball and thrown into the into the trash can. Okay, so we're just going to move on down to our next. Okay, so going down the list, let's see what comes up next. Fire protectant area? No. Fire protectant area for welding. Mass jams. Yeah, I like mass jams. I like mass jams primer too. So mass jams, because we're carrying paint across two panels, right? We're going from quarter panel to door. Same thing with the primer, right? We're going from quarter panel to door, right? We're going to be putting primer in through here. So we're getting mass jams paint, mass jams primer. 0.5 and 0.5. Again, you know, these are subject to change depending on the repair. The 0.3s, the 0.5, it's kind of just an acknowledgement that it needs to be done. All right, so that's what we're going on. Foam tape. Yep, so that's going to be used when we're painting and we're crossing two panels. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to include that with my mass jams paint. So I'll show you how I'll do that right now. All right, so there we go. What I did was I just jumped right up here, wrote with foam tape, and I put my $8 there. You could have made a separate line here, but I'm obviously running out of space, so I'm trying to conserve. Mask engine compartment, no. Mask back glass, yes. Mask rope windshield. Again, 0.5, 0.5. The $3 represents the special tape that goes between the window gasket and the actual panel itself. So I will use that. All right, I got that. I can cross that off of my my field notes when I get to it, but let's just stay on course here. Rope quarter glass, mask quarter glass, I actually got that into the body of the estimate, so that's good. No broken glass, flex additive, yes. So flex additive goes on every job where there's a bumper repair. So that's a 12. No X. Notice I didn't put an X there because it's going to be added into the paint. So it's going to leave with the vehicle naturally, right? It's an additive that gets put into the paint, to the clear coat, so that doesn't crack when it gets bumped and flexes. Okay, so it adds some flex properties to the paint, and that's going to leave with the car. So I'm going to flip over one more screen, and we're going to one more page, and we're going to work our way through these. So. All right, so here we are on a new screen. So flex additive, that was the last thing we put up there. Let's keep going down to see what comes up next. Tint color, definitely going with some tint color. 0.5. Spray test panels, don't really need that. you know, where we've got enough room where we're gonna basically blend everything. You could add it, you know, if the painter needed it, if it was a tough color, could be a tough color. But if he needed it, so tint color, let's just get that up there for 0.5. I want to put that into the paint column. It's a paint operation. He's using some paint materials to do that. Going to skip the test panels. Probably don't need it here. Color, sand, and buff, definitely. Anytime we're repairing any of those major panels, doors, fenders, hoods, not bumpers, we're going to get 0.5 per panel, right? And no rockers. So we're not going to get the 0.5 on the bumper or the rocker, but we can take it on the door, the quarter panel, and we can say the roof rail. Even though the roof rail is a little bit of a stretch, but I think we can get it here. So 0.5 rear door, quarter panel, roof rail. So that's going to give us an hour and a half. All right, so 1.5. Denib and polish, color, sand, and buff, kind of one and the same. Miscellaneous hardware, yeah, gonna take that, $10. Taxable, because any miscellaneous nuts and bolts, clips, whatever we put in that car are gonna be taxed. So. All right, keep moving down the line. No fit aftermarket parts. We didn't really replace anything. Corrosion protection, anti-corrosive primer. Yes, because we did body work. Anytime we do body work, we're using anti-corrosive primer. $10, it's taxed naturally because it goes on the car. We get 0.2 hours to apply it. So let's go for that. All right, we're getting closer here. Let's see. All right, keep going down here. Clean for delivery. Yep, that's kind of goes with every single one. Car didn't come into the shop covered in body dust, right? We're restoring the vehicle back to pre-loss condition. The day the customer dropped it off, it was not covered in body dust. So therefore, we are not going to give the car back to the customer covered in body dust. So we're going to get 0.5 for that. So you can tell the insurance appraiser the next time he tells you he's not going to pay 0.5 to clean the car. And you say, well, sir, we're restoring the vehicle back to pre-loss condition. Before the accident happened, it was not covered in body dust. Therefore, we have to give the car back to the customer body dust free. Okay, got that down. DNR electronics. Yep, so because we're gonna have that door apart, we're gonna have a lot of parts disconnected. We don't wanna kill the battery. We gotta disconnect the battery and reset the electronics. So DNR, David Romeo, disconnect, reconnect. All right, not bad. Clean for delivery, we got that. We got our disconnect, reconnect. Hazardous waste, we'll take that. And after that, I kind of think I think we're just about done. So let's get our has waste in there. HAZ, has waste. Let's see what's up. Remove adhesives. Yeah, you know what? Remove it. Clean molding adhesives from panel. I'm going to get that because remember we had that chrome adhesive molding. When we pull that off, it's going to leave some glue residue on the panel. It's going to take a little bit of extra time and effort to get that off and cleaned. So I'm going to ask for the 0.5 for clean molding adhesives from panel. All right, back to our P pages. Let's see here. Oh, we're good. All right, so we got all our P pages down. Let's just look at our field notes again, just to make sure we didn't forget nothing, right? Before we wrap this up. So. All right, so here are our field notes. We got to note that right wheel curb damage, mask back glass windshield. We got that. So good. So let's just note the unrelated damage for the curb, damage to the wheel. And again, we don't have to write an estimate or go crazy with that. We're just going to make note of it. We saw it, we acknowledged it, we know it's there. And it's going to be as easy as this. UPD, right, rear, we just noted it. Unrelated previous damage, right rear wheel curb damage. We don't need to write an estimate for it. We just need to acknowledge it, and we did that. Next thing we got to do is total everything up, start adding everything up. So we're going to add body. We're going to add the body column, the paint column, parts column, taxes, paint material. So let me just get this all written up. So let's see. Body. All right, so that's how it's all gonna work. So should be able to see my screen here. So we got body, $40 an hour times how many hours are in this column. Paint, $40 an hour times how many hours are in this column. The parts, we're gonna add up all the parts in this column. Paint materials is $30 an hour times how many hours are in the paint column, right? So this is gonna drop down to here, right? This should all be the same, and we'll get an amount there. So I'm gonna add all this up. I'm not gonna make you watch me do it. So I'm just gonna pause everything, and when we come back, all this will be filled in, all right? Okay, I'm back. So I did plug in some numbers here. All right, so I did my body, 25.1, my paint column, added everything up in this paint column, flipped back through all the pages, came to 11.1. My parts came to $182.33, and I left some of these blank. We should do some math together, right? So to do the body, $40 an hour times 25.1 gives me $1,004. Check my math. 25.1 times 40. All right. Next up is 11.1 times 40. $444. All right. So this is my paint. Now, paint materials is $30 times 11.1. Remember, that just drops down. That just drops down into that column. So that should come, I'm going to do it, but it should come to $333. Yeah. Now, what I left for last is this paint materials and parts, okay? Paint materials, easy. Just drop that 333 down to the paint materials column. So I'm gonna bring this here. Now, to the parts section. So parts is going to be a little bit more involved, okay? We need to subtract what is not taxable. So I can show you the way I like to do it. I got $182.33 for my parts, basically right here. I'm going to subtract everything that has an X next to it. So the 3 has an X next to it, minus 3. I'm going to flip the page. Minus 3, minus 3. Minus 3, minus 3. Minus 8, minus 5, minus 5. Minus 8, minus 5, minus 5. $155.33. All right, so we got it there. $333 for paint materials, $155.33 for parts. Now we multiply that by, it's 6.25%, but the way you do the math is, so I've got $155.33. I add these two plus 333, $488.33 times 0.0625 gives me $30.52 for my taxes, okay? There it is. We add all those up, and we get a total. So add for the body, 1004. Add for paint, 444. Add for paint materials, 333. Add for parts, 182.33. And then we add our taxes, plus 30.52. Total cost to repairs, $19.93.85. It was a good year. And there you go. That was it. So I hope that helped you guys. Take that with you. When it comes time for you to take the exam, refer back to it. Reach out to me. You guys know how to get in touch with me. I wish everybody the best of luck. Study up, schedule your exam, get it done. And best of luck to everybody in the new year. Thanks again, guys.